Hey guys, this is
This is Jay.
and this is CC
Life after the L word. Live.
live. Hey guys, hope everybody is doing well today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got my specs on. I'm about to go Malcolm X. We about to go deep, y'all. We got some co-parenting. I like to call
Yes.
that BP, baby. You know what that BP is? It's
What?
like going to the gas station. And sometimes BP is cool,
Mhm.
sometimes it's just not. So we're going to have some cool points, and some of it's just not going to be cool. Because we're going to talk about some real stuff about co-parenting, baby mamas, baby daddies, whatever you want to call it.
Right. So today's episode is called Life After the L Word.
Ooh.
How to co-parent after the baby. Y'all, this is like a serious topic. It's very, very sensitive. But one of our wonderful members asked us to talk about it.
Yeah,
and
shout out
so
to Keisha. Appreciate it.
made some arrangements to change how we're going to do our episodes and decided to go ahead and hit on it. Because when one of our members asked us to do something, we gotta do it, right?
And we all know this is a very good topic because we all have either been in a relationship, been married, whatever you want to call it, and then had a child, and then things got awkward or it's gotten crazy. So we want to kind of dissect it. I'm gonna say how I feel about things, and you're gonna kind of say, well, and we hope we can get to the middle of it.
Yeah, right.
So you tell me, what you think of when you think about co-parenting.
So it can be, for me, I'll break it down into two separate categories.
Let's go.
For me, it's co-parenting after love, and then it's co-parenting after lust.
Definitely.
So, love, what I think we should do is tackle the first part, which
the
is
lust part.
No, I'm sorry, maybe I didn't say lust first, but whatever.
I was thinking that.
Okay, so we should talk about co-parenting after the love.
Yeah.
Because a lot of relationships don't work out, and then you want to know, how you can proceed after you feel like, after the love is no more there.
I definitely understand. Like you could be like, like cool with somebody, but then when you break up, and that's what one of those things I was thinking about when I realized we was going to do this. It's like you might like that person in that relationship, but you not like that person just without that relationship.
Right.
So then it's just a child. And so then it's kind of like if you don't like somebody, then it's kind of like then you don't respect them. You don't talk to them that way. You don't move a certain way. So I think we got to get out of like I have to like the other side. Like I gotta like that co-parent. I don't think you gotta like them. You gotta respect them because it's two halves.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And so then it's two separate categories. It's two separate categories when it comes to love. And, like after the love word and raising kids, it's two separate categories.
Okay.
It's one where, we decided to split up together. It was a mutual decision. And then it's
that works out great.
Well, you know what? It could be easier.
Yeah, because
it should be easier because both of you guys have been like, this isn't working, and for whatever reason,
you're on the same page.
Right, you're on the same page.
Right.
And then the other category is like y'all broke up horribly.
Somebody cheated.
Right, somebody cheated or whatever. And so when it comes to the latter, when you break up horribly, I think you should have a mediator. Like if you guys can't communicate, which definitely is understandable
and normal, like
and not right.
It just depends on like the defense, you know what I'm saying, or the penalty or whatever you want to call it, like what that person did. Some of that stuff we can't get over. But what we gotta realize is like there's a grandma or it was somebody that we were cool with or somebody that we need to be cool with for the drop off points. Because if you don't like somebody or you can't get over something, then just even if you have a child with them, that doesn't go anywhere. It just means there's an additional responsibility or emotion tied to it.
Yeah. So. And I think a conversation needs to be had either way. Yeah. So either you guys, split up to I'm not even gonna try to say the word. Split up on good terms.
Did you see how you were doing it?
Yeah, I had it in my esophagus, but it just couldn't come out my throat.
It disrespected you.
It disrespected me. Yes, it completely disrespected me. But regardless, like I feel like if you guys split up on good terms, then it's a lot easier.
Of course.
However, if you didn't, at the end of the day, you still have a child together.
Okay.
So the first thing I think should be addressed if you guys split up over over drama and you guys are not on a good terms, then I think first thing I think you should do is address that.
Well, I think that's more than 50%. That's like 80%. Most of us have done some saucy type stuff. So you definitely got to address it. I think it's awkward, but I think you have to address the elephant in the room.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I did you wrong, you did me dirty, but listen, I'm not trying to be with you. You're not trying to be with me. I'm trying to handle this child.
Right.
But I think our emotions be tied to it, and so because it is, you keep that energy. And we'll dive into other aspects because I know some of y'all are talking about just not doing anything wrong. There's all kinds of factions, but the asterisk that I'm gonna put out there is like you don't get to pick and choose when we're getting down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even in our heads, if we didn't really want to have a child by that person, you know, once we do the do, you know, it's a 50-50 shot.
Right.
So, and you don't get to pick and choose the mother and father of your children. I'm sorry, you just don't. Even with money, you don't get to choose. You know what I'm saying? It's probably in a mirage of a way. So
yeah. And so again, you have to communicate. If the first thing you guys need to do is address what happened in a relationship, then please go ahead and do that. But after that conversation, the conversation needs to be about that child or the children that you share together.
okay.
And it should be had without your personal feelings. Like whatever he or she did, you have to put that as adults. Like as when you're a grown woman or grown man ish, you have to put that to the side because y'all personal relationship, unless that person hurt your kid or children, it makes no difference. Because now you have to address
a lot of
how you're gonna co-parent with the child.
Right. So I like how you said ish. So ish to me means there's a little bit of asterisk to it. So it's other things that you know what I mean? Like you have to factor. So I don't know. I mean, co-parenting is so difficult, but I understand what you're saying about like we got to have those conversations. But I'm saying like surprise, like if you can't have that conversation, then what has to be established is like, you know, the same narrative, not trying to slide in, not you know, making things difficult by still having sex and then saying I'm tired of it and now I want to just take care of my kid. Let's take all the on and off switch off. Let's take that off. Let's take that off the table, right? And let's really. And so if you can't have the conversation about why things are messy, and some of us are not. So if we can't get that, then there's another one. Then we're talking about that grown part, where it's just like, okay, listen, I'm just about how can we work together with this child.
Yeah. So I agree with you. You have to take sex off the table, no matter how good it is, and no matter how much you love that person, because sex with somebody that you love can really complicate the situation when it comes to co-parenting versus somebody that you just got pregnant by. You know what I mean?
And just history,
right?
History, and you know, we all, you know, when you meet somebody new, you might still go back to the old person just because you know that person knows your body. And you don't want to explain it to somebody. So we say like, listen, if y'all messing and dabbling and all of that, this is not going to apply to you because you're already in an entanglement.
Okay.
You see how I did that? But yeah, so we're not talking about that. We're talking about like, listen, I really just want support and I really want you to just help me and whatever happens, let's move forward. So for me, that jumps me into what the role is. So are you a full-time versus a part-time? And you damaged me because I thought even though I might have part-time hours, I have full-time responsibility.
Right.
Nah, if you ain't having full-time, I done did full-time. Full-time is different than part-time. Male or female, full-time is different. So I think there should be a leeway with the full-time, not too much, but a little bit, because I got to do some extra. But then I thought about something too, babe.
What?
So what if I want to be a part? Like I'm gonna be devil's advocate, and I say, yo, I want to be full time, and you say, no, I got it. So if you want full time, then that's the little extra that you added, right? Watch out, watch out.
You said what?
How I'm gonna have to do that? I'm saying like, okay, so we're saying that there's a full time and there's a part time parent. And so I'm saying let's just say I want to be the full-time parent. And you say, no, I'm going to be the full-time parent. Well, then aren't you adding on more responsibility because you decided to be Johnny O and be the full-time parent? Now I ain't saying that's how I be, so don't beat me. I'm just saying, like, is that something like, is that an asterisk? Because my boys and my fellas and my females are going to want to know, like, okay, you chose that. Like when we had these conversations, you said you wanted to do all the big dog type things, but of course you didn't see the bigger picture. Because part-time, for me, I'm going to put in this and say like part-time and full-time are connected. And so when we think the part-time doesn't do enough, it does what you needed to do. And when you think the full-time doesn't do what it does. It makes it easy for the part-time. I don't see one without the other.
I think that if you aren't able to raise your kid full time, first of all, ladies, that's fine. I want you to understand
so
that.
So as fellas.
It's fine. If you can't do it part time for whatever reason.
Oh yeah. That's
you shouldn't.
Yes,
I feel like
yes.
I feel like we put women in this position where they feel like they have to be the full time parent.
Right.
But some moms, some women, that's not their life, and that's completely fine. Like, don't feel bad about it because a lot of times, especially in the Black community, our children aren't. We didn't prepare for them. They just happen.
Yeah.
And so we do the best that we can. But some women aren't mom material, and they shouldn't be made to feel bad about that. It's like, you know what? I'm not mom material, but I don't do abortions. I'm going to have this child, and I hope that I can get the best that I can.
Right.
On the flip side of that is we put women in these positions where they feel like they have to, and when they can't, we are shocked when they completely fail as a mom.
Right. So
I feel like for me, especially not like if me and you divorce, I'm giving you all the kids. I don't want none of them. Period. I'm not going to take care of them. I'm not going to send you no money.
No problem. I'm gonna get my money though. I'm not gonna be too proud. I want that child support.
So you gonna put me on child support?
All them kids.
And guess what, y'all? I'm gonna act like the typical sorry baby daddy, and I'm not gonna work. I'm gonna have a man take care of me.
Let me tell you right there. We are not typical, but we can be sorry that we met y'all. But so I like what you were saying about like that's a different dynamic too. Like what I think I'm trying to say is that it doesn't matter the male or female, whoever the better parent is. Sometimes we're not ready, or sometimes we need time. But I think we're worried about perspectives and how we're viewed. Or is there something wrong with me? I should be doing those things when you're not ready. And I just think when whoever is ready should be handling that thing. So what do you think about like the finances with like the whole child support?
So what I think is that
about money now be easy, man. Like I'm a brother that went through some things now.
First of all, y'all, let me tell you, like
we're gonna go straight to me.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to him, okay? So me and Jay have been married for 5 years. We have
too many.
At least we have 5 biological kids together, right? When I first had our daughter, she's now 18, he just was not financially helping me whatsoever. No. And let me tell you guys, if any men are listening, I don't want you to ever typically, not as a whole, but typically the mother of your kid does not want to put you on child support. We don't want to do so because it's been ingrained in us that we don't want the man to lock you guys up. You know what I'm saying? And so we typically don't put you on child support. Like we will legit work 3 jobs to make sure that the man don't come after you, all while trying to take care of the kids that you abandoned us with, right?
Right.
But it came to a point where I was like, okay, Jay, like you're not helping me any type of way with our daughter. And even though I know that I knew that he loved me and he loved our child, he wasn't showing that financially.
No.
And so eventually I had to put him on child support. And me and him were like, even during that time frame, we were like really good friends. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And actually, we were still being sexual with one another.
I don't think it ever stopped.
Well, it did stop, but you don't want to talk about that right now. So anyway, see what I'm saying? Anyway, and so I had to put him on child support, and I said to him, "Yo, I'm putting you on child support. There's nothing else I could do. I keep asking you for money. You're not giving me money. Guess you're taking care of your other children because he has 3 kids before me and him have our daughter."
And that's what I was saying. Like there was another, it wasn't out here like I was shucking coal. I was out here working, man. As some real stuff, I wasn't. And so when she told me she was doing it, it was like this real alert, like, yo, like I really have fallen short. But it wasn't right. I'm different though. At that point, it was like, yo, she gets what she deserves. But at the same time, it's this whole like shocking thing because if y'all haven't experienced it, man, it come out like taxes. Like you see what you could have had, and it show you what the cut is. And that thing ain't that's like 50-50.
And let me tell you what I do appreciate about you is that when I said, okay, listen, I have to put you on child support. I need help with our daughter, blah blah blah. I love the fact that you didn't get angry with me. Instead, you was like, yo, I get it because I haven't been doing my thing. Right. Like when he had to go to court, he didn't contest it. He didn't argue it. Mm-hmm. He was just like, yo, I got to do what I have to do. And I got my coins to help take care of our child. Mm-hmm. And that's a level of maturity. Like sometimes I listen to men and they be like, oh, I can't believe she put me on child support. And then when I ask them like, well, are you taking care of your child financially? And they'll be like, no, man, it's hard out here. It's hard out here for you, the non-custodial parent. Then how do you think it is for the one who have the kids on a daily basis?
It is hard. I'm not gonna. You're gonna try to make that like it's black and white. Like it's got some things in it. But at the same time, what I would say is that it is a shock because I think men think we have more time than we do. Like I think naturally, I think most men want to do right by their children, but we don't like the decisions we made, or we want more time. We want to get these things in order, and then we want to go ahead and we're gonna take care of it. But then things happen, and I think eventually the other person gets fed up, and then it's like, yo, this is what it is. And then it's like, yo, in your brain, it's like, yo, I'm trying, man, I'm about to. But see, all those things are really happening while you about to do something. So I'm saying, male or female, if you're on the other side, man, you gotta put in, because when you're forced to put in, then it doesn't matter. Like if you think the other side is upset and sleep and doesn't sleep, no, they don't. They're good. They're getting what they want to give. I'm just saying, don't have it forced, and to try to do what you really can all the time.
Right. And so like for me, I was in 20 or 21 with 2 kids. Yeah, and it was a struggle, guy. Like it was a struggle. And the fact that you weren't helping me financially, Rasan is a different story. But with our oldest child, it was just like, yo, what in the world do I have to do to get some help? Like, fellas, if you don't understand how much it is to be a single, because for you, it's like, it's just a paycheck. Mm-hmm. But you're not there with that child. I'm talking about doctor bills or doctor visits, emergency room visits, daycare. Like none of this stuff that I'm saying is cheap. And yes, Medicaid does pay for it, but guess what? It comes with an expense. Like now, when I had Medicaid with Jada versus who is 18 now, mm-hmm. versus having Medicaid with Ja, who is 3, right. It's been a huge difference. With Jada, I was so limited. Mm-hmm. on what she could do or where I could take her, versus now I could take Ja anywhere and it's no problem. And I think that when you are not the custodial parent, it's easy to be like, yo, what's her problem? Negro, our problem is you, because you're living your best life and not caring about what I have to go through.
Well, I'm not going to say that, but why wouldn't you think that we're living the best life? But that's not true. But you're not going to want to hear that I'm struggling and I'm barely making it myself.
Yeah, no, I don't want to hear it.
You right. So what do? You don't want to hear what's really happening if I'm really struggling and I really can't put in. So it comes back to fellas, like at the end of the day, it's going to be the L, because you got to put in. Like, if the other side is working right. Now, if it's not, if the woman's not doing right, that's a whole different conversation. But I'm saying if all the gears are working, then we just got to push forward and do what we got to do.
Right. And Asia, you're right. We have to normalize women being put on child support, because I know a few baby moms.
Yes. I want to normalize it. I want to support it. I want to put a shirt on
it. Right. Because you've been through your fair share of.
Yeah, it's been hard.
Right. Yeah, it's been hard. And I feel like a lot of men don't want to put the mom on child support, because we have this society has created this whole boundary thing where it's like, oh, well, she had your kid and, she's doing her best that she can do.
Right.
Sis, bro, she ain't taking care of the kid that she helped me make. And so just like women need to put their father on child support, absolutely. The men need to do so. And I know some single fathers who struggled for a long time and like, yo, should I do it? I don't want nobody to think I can't handle it.
Yes.
Listen, you can handle it, and you shouldn't feel bad about that because you didn't create that child by yourself. It's absolutely positively normal to be like, yo, I need some help, and you need to come through with the coins.
Yeah,
man or woman.
Right. And so, and this is another thing. Like, don't wait to try to get custody after your child support. Like, what I would tell y'all, I tell anybody, but I'm speaking to the men, like, establish custody, like, with the child support. That means that there's no BS, and there's where she got to bring them, you got to bring them. You get dough. It takes away this emotion and this connected, like, why won't you let me see my kid? Well, why did you pay me this money? It takes away that thing, because then you can't use that, and I don't have to get mad and not show. Like, it just takes that battle away. So that's what I'm talking about too. Like, figure it out, but you kind of got to just, I think we already just hit it on the hammer. Your emotions really got to be on that child, because anything else makes it messy. It's like a Tyler Perry movie.
Yeah. No, you didn't compare it to a title anyway. So we talked about, like, if it was love, but lust is a whole different subject. Because let me tell y'all.
That's just the L, yo. You idiot.
It's a huge L, y'all, okay? So what I'm going to say is that, like, if you had that baby based on, you know what, I got drunk at the club, I was dancing, this dude looked sexy to me, or this shit looked sexy to me. Let me tell you, first of all, y'all, birth control is not 100%. I have gotten pregnant twice, have 2 kids off birth control. 2 separate forms of birth control I have been pregnant off of.
Yeah.
It's your sperm that helps make these kids, okay?
You're welcome.
Because both of them belong to you that I had, okay? So whatever. But with that being said, excuse me, man, you have to take responsibility for that too. Like, I've heard so many men who've been in that position of one night stand and being a father from it, and they'll be like, well, she should have used protection. Is something wrong with you putting a condom on?
No, that just.
Why do women have to tell men to put a condom on? Like,
no, but it just would have been nice. That's all I'm saying. Don't y'all think of it like eating gum? Just go ahead and pop one in.
But in your health at risk, just like my health is at risk?
Yeah, it is. That's it.
That's it. Okay. That's it.
So I definitely understand what you're saying about that. Like, okay, so, but it's hard, right? Like, it's the vibe, it's being young or it's being immature. But yeah, that's really the concept. Like, getting somebody pregnant and you don't have anything involved with them, and then you don't even know what they're like, and then you got to know what they're like.
You don't know what they're like.
You got to learn them as a parent.
You only have 9 months to figure it out. Like, that's what's crazy.
Good luck. It worked out great for me.
Right. And listen, I can compare that, not know who they were, to having a horrible breakup and then seeing that person in a whole new light.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. You see that person in a whole new light whenever a baby is involved and the relationship ended up badly, or you just knew each other as a homie, lover, friend, or a one night stand. Mm-hmm. That's a completely separate thing whenever a child is involved. Like, that man or that woman could turn into a horrible beast, or they could be the best thing that happens since sliced bread. But either way, you have to figure out how to maneuver through it, because now a child is involved.
Yeah, I think the L really goes with the after love and lust. I mean, because that's just, you're in something that now you're in. There's nothing you can do about whoever didn't strap up, whoever did. I mean, I done got somebody pregnant on both. I mean, my stuff goes straight. But and y'all, he bragging as if it's something good. Yeah. So it's a real live issue. It's like really like doing it and then getting a girl pregnant means, man, you ain't got no choice but to step up. Both of y'all. It doesn't matter like who did it, what, it doesn't matter. So I hope that what y'all are getting from us is like, it can be awkward. If you can get over the grimy stuff, then get over the grimy stuff. If you can't get over the grimy stuff, find a mediator.
Right, find a mediator.
Yes. Go ahead, Ray.
And I'm not even an advocate for child support. Like, I've been to the courthouse and I've seen how grimy these workers could be. Like, you would think they're the ones who are having to put their baby fathers on child support. But I on the flip side, I do feel kind of bad for them because I know their cases, they are overworked and underpaid for what they have to go through. But I remember me and you when we finally got married and we had to go down there and put our let them know to take you off of child support because we were married, and you were in the courtroom and I was outside with I forgot which baby, probably Gia. I think it was Gia. And two of the child support workers was just like, this close to like doing a dance because the fathers were going to jail. And while I wasn't necessarily mad that the fathers had to deal with consequences for not taking their care of their kid, I was just looking at these two ladies like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, what happened to you for you to be this happy that this dude is going to jail? I don't know. I just felt like they were taking it personally.
Man, I had to soak all of that in. It's something that like we have gone through as men. We understand what comes with doing the right thing, but missing one thing, and then going to jail and losing your job and not financing or going in hard times and just it's a really thin line. NC is hardcore. Like any of this stuff, it's like I just would tell anybody if y'all could get it together and just work it out because once the courts get involved, it just all depends. And that's all I can tell you. And just hearing about that and just knowing about those. I remember not in your situation, but in another situation where I had to wait for my shot, but it was already like the gavel was going down. It was like, yo, bro, you ain't gonna let me speak? Like, you don't want to know my history? I got receipts. It was like, nah, I was about to do. I was like, hold up, can we talk for a second? So there's some unique cases to it.
And so that brings me to another point of keeping your receipts. Fathers, keep your freaking receipts. Whatever you give, make sure. I don't care how much it's for. It could be, like you said, not a hug. It could be chewing gum. You make that thing into a money order. Make a copy of it and keep it for yourself, or put it in your file. Whatever you do it, but keep it for yourself. Because I've seen women, especially in your case, go to court and be like, oh, he ain't gave me nothing. And I know that these fathers have done it because I've been there with them. I've given them rides to the doctors. I'm sorry, not to doctors, to clothing stores or to the pharmacy. Mm-hmm. And I've known they paid out their pockets only for the mom to go to court and be like, they didn't do nothing for me. And this person has no proof that they did do it.
Let me say something. Like, that's just it's awkward. Like, you don't want to have to do that. And for us, it's like, yo, that's my kid. Like I said, I did it. I'm a person of my word. And so you really look at it like this is a child. Why should I connect that? Well, at the end of the day, when you do a business deal, and most business deals don't have emotions, and when you do things like love and lust, or you're not responsible, then that's how you have to react to it. And so you have to hold your receipts like you filing taxes. You feel me?
Right.
Like it's some real kind of stuff and then it's a part of like when a woman's trying to get services, it's like she's not gonna say like, yo, he's been paying for all of that. She's gonna say like, this is the first time I'm asking for help. There's gonna be some technicalities that they're gonna try to hide behind. Listen, when you pay, we all know, like if you pay by cash, you can do money orders. You got checks, you can do any of those things. But that just gives you accountability on both ends.
Right. So again, if your baby mother is costing you,
baby mama, baby daddy,
mama, baby daddy. Don't give them cash. Give them a money order. I don't care if that money order is for $10. It still went towards your child, and on the bottom of a money order it says what is this for. Put what it's for, and make a copy of it before you hand it to that person, because you need a trail of what you have done.
Yeah, absolutely. And it trains yourself. Like once you start putting money orders and you put child support, you start looking down. Once you start filing those things, it kind of clicks into your head like, this is how this is going to go. And like you might be able to get your payments down or go up, but it just kind of puts you into this, like, this is what I got to do. You know what I mean? And I think that's the mindset. Like, do you want to have to do that? Do you want to keep receipts on things? Man, we keep receipts on TV shows and commercials.
Yes.
So if we don't put some receipts on our children that we don't even have these good relationships with, why not? Like, why don't you just protect yourself, protect your child, and then there's no messiness with it.
And another thing I want to enforce for my fellas is that you guys have to know your.
Let's go. All right.
Yeah, because I've seen the other side of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But what you gonna say?
I want to say that you got to know your rights.
Yeah. Women be easy. like the ones that like are angry and can be and shouldn't be easy ones. For the guys that are really trying, give them that. You know what I'm saying? And like when it's not enough, then let's just work with them. If a guy hits you up every month and then can't 1 month, I mean, it's gonna be hard. But try to make it work. Let's be reasonable with reason.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So everybody's got a different story. Everything's got a lot to do. And so I know that the person that has the child, by all means, has a lot more, but they still have a heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Another thing I want to bring up is that your kids are more than a paycheck. I've seen a lot of moms and dads like, well, I send such and such, I pay child support. Your child is more than a paycheck. Your child needs emotional support, mental support, and physical support, not just financially.
All the efforts.
And see, I come from a place where I don't feel like just having one parent is enough. I say that because when I was a single parent, and you weren't active in our oldest son's life, and his stepdad wasn't active, I don't know what it is to be a boy because I'm not a boy. I know what it is to be a girl and what it is to be a young woman and what it is to be an adult woman. I don't know what it is to be a boy. I had to go and find help for him. I had to go find a mentor. I had to find a male role model to help my baby because I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not from the thing where it's like, oh, I don't need no man. The F I don't. Yes, I do. And as much as if we don't want to admit it or not, we need a man for something. And I feel like kids need both male and female parents, or they need a role model if, depending on their situation. If it's two gay men or two gay women in a relationship and they have a child, I don't even care about that. I'm saying the opposite sex is needed because that child still needs male and female. I feel like that's what helps them to mold.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Male and female offer different perspectives for that child, and so I feel like each perspective, different influences, and I feel like both is needed to help produce a healthy child. Yeah. So I'm not from that school where I don't need, honey, you can miss me with that, and I don't even feel bad about that.
Yeah, well, I definitely think it's a concept about not looking at your children as money or financial gains or whatever it is. You have to look at your child, and that's just your child, and just wanting to protect them and whatever that means, and wanting to love them. When you start looking at financial and greed, it just changes your perspective and what you're willing to do and what you're willing to accept. So, we definitely can't look at that, and we can't count on that. And that's a different subject for me too. Like, does child support for you? Is that for just the child, or is it just for the child to live? Like, that's the rent, that's whatever. How does child support break down for people?
For me, when I put you on child support, like I'm just saying, I was income-based living, and so my rent was adjustable. I didn't have to really use your child support to pay my rent because I already had extra income.
Right.
But I feel like that child support should cover whatever the child's need is. So if that child needs a roof over their head and your child support goes to rent, then it goes to rent. That
might be a different concept too for us. Like, I don't know, like, I guess I think in reality now, hearing you say that, I believe that women need to have that conversation when it comes to child support. Because for us, or for me, child support just means whatever Junior want. Like, whatever his clothes, you say you took him to the doctor, I took care of that. But you could say, like, hey man, listen, something happened and this is going to go toward rent. And that's child support.
And I think that more men or whoever the supporting parent is, I think they need to understand that, you know what, I thought this child support was going to go straight for my child, but it's to go into the rent instead. Does your child not live in that house where I need your child support to pay that rent? That's what you have to look at.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I guess what it goes down to is just handling your business, and if that's what you so if it's got to go to that, I don't know. Would you say to me like, yo, I had to use that for rent, or would you just say like, that child support. You know what I'm saying, that's your child. Would you tell me that you had to use it?
If you ask them, but tell you the truth,
okay.
And either you can deal with it or you can't. Either way, the child support is not going to change based on that.
Now, do you understand how we can see like, yo, like let's like you said, let's just say you got multiple children, and so now my child support comes in, but you tell me that covered rent, but you got other people in your house. So how is that?
I see what you're saying.
So we gonna play.
A different
we gonna play devil's advocate,
yeah.
y'all. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like there's always things, male or female, that might make a man feel that way, and so you know what I'm saying. So that's why I say.
Somebody, I'm not sure who this is. I have to look through my notes, but it says exactly buying for your children is not spending time with them. I can't with the visiting. Oh, it's Jovel. I can't with the visiting fathers who are only there for a few. Exactly, Jovel. A few hours means nothing to me. But I feel like as far as your question goes, I think that's
I'm gonna get on you too, Jovel. Hold up.
I think that's a good conversation to have. Like, okay, if the father is like, why is it that my child support is going towards other adults live in the house? That's a good conversation to have.
Listen, I drop you off with a dude with a do-rag drinking orange juice. I drop you off, you know what I'm saying?
Where you get orange juice from?
With his name on it, sitting there looking at me as I drop you off, and you talking about you pay like it's kind of weird, like, or it's just, I don't know. It's how it appears. And so when you're dealing with people's money, whatever it is, sometimes, you know what I'm saying, when you pay for something or you doing that, you demand customer service or you demand an explanation because that's what you paid for. So right. I don't know what you think about that.
I think you have to approach that kind of subject in a sensitive manner, especially if the mother or the father had to put you on child support. I'll tell you how I would be like, why is that your business when I had to put you on child support in the first place to take care of your child?
And I'm gonna be like, cool, I'm glad you brought that up, but you done did it, so who ain't a pick it in? So either we reducing what we doing, what's going on? Because there's like 20 of y'all. What's up? So anyway, so Joelle said them 4 minutes, them 30 seconds don't matter to her. Is that right, JoJo?
She said buying for your children is not spending time with them. I can't with the visiting fathers who are only there for a few hours.
Okay, so is it that that's the only thing that they can do or won't do? Like what I'm saying is, like, what if I'm a hardworking man? What if I work 2 jobs and that little bit of time is all I have?
I think that's different.
But now the dude ain't doing nothing, and you know he ain't doing nothing because you got his schedule, and you look at him, and then he want to come in and do a flyby 1 hour or 2 hours. What up, man? The hug and all that. Nah, definitely not. Like I really have conversations with my children, and they take longer than that. So in that aspect, you definitely can't spend like an hour or 2. Like you just can't. Like to have conversations with children and take about 2 hours before they feel comfortable enough to talk to.
And we got 7 of them, and so while we waiting for them to make their point, we be legit rolling our eyes on the inside so they don't see and be like, yo, just shut up and just
I'll be crying inside.
You be crying inside.
I'll be crying inside.
So I think that it does make a difference when you
So then time time comes into child support. Excuse me. So time. So we can count on like not just financial, but what can you bring
other than that,
and how much time are you spending? So what about the dude like how I was like when the money was really straight, but I wasn't spending time? How did you feel towards me? The same way that Joe like?
I felt annoyed towards you because it was like, here I am. My whole life was revolved around our daughter, and to know that it wasn't necessarily your what you had to go through, and it was just like, yo, I just need like a few days of a break to just get myself together, and knowing that I couldn't depend on you for that.
True.
And so it really just made me dislike you a little bit more each and every day I had to deal with it, especially with Jada.
I worked back in that.
Yeah, he did. Especially when Jada, her asthma, and it was just like, yo, I'm just tired. I need a break, and to know that you weren't going to be able to give me that break,
right.
That was a lot for me.
Okay, so if what is your whole thought on how can you do the support thing when you're a part-time guy? Like if you're a part-time guy, What's reasonable? Because a lot of us need to know. Because like if we are weekend dads, that's what we do every other weekend. Is that being judged? Because that's what we set up at.
Well, I think like Jovel just commented, okay, yeah, that's true, but some don't work 7 days a week. Weekends can be spent with your children, and that's where I think we're at.
I said that. Listen, y'all not gonna be double teaming me because I said that.
Right.
If you can look at him and know his schedule. No, but I'm definitely. I'm with you though. I'm with you. A lot of times, if we can take off and that we're apart, then we don't. That's the thing that we don't have to worry about. That we can enjoy the weekend, and you know what I'm saying. That's just.
Right.
That's just the selfish part of it. So it just needs to be exposed. Like,
right.
If you know the schedule, it's like, yo, nah, man, I know what's up. Like,
right. If I know that you are working like 2-3 jobs and you don't have it a few hours, I definitely expect those few hours. But if I know that you are not doing nearly as half as you faking like you're doing, no, you need to be here all the time. My dad, when my parents separated the first time we were younger, my dad was there every day picking us up from school, and if not every other weekend, every weekend we were at his house, spending religiously. We were there Friday through Sunday, and every day he picked us up from school because that's what a parent does. And he thinks, and my dad worked third shift, so he made it work. And so if a parent, the absent parent wants to do what they have to do, they'll do it to the best of their ability.
No, I definitely agree with you on that. But you know, your dad is no joke, old school. You know, he's gonna do right. For the younger people, I think that's gonna be a struggle to, you know, be tempted to want to chill on whatever sex, male or female. So what I would say is like just do it with reason. You know what I'm saying? Like just calm down with it. You can't do it every weekend. But I really honestly get you if you say like, listen, I'm gonna take care of them next weekend. I mean, that's the human part of you. You know what I'm saying? So. And
for me and you, I would like your opinion. Like our roles have been reversed. You've been the more stay-at-home parent. I've been the more working parent. And so now and this is something different from you because normally you were working 2 or 3 jobs with your kids, and the mothers were the stay-at-home parents. Now that roles have been reversed, like how do you feel about that now? Like, do you have a deeper respect for the women?
I don't need you to feed it to me. I can just tell you. This shit was hard. Like, listen, I as a part-time guy, like no matter what I was working on, I had my children like, you know, like as soon as they woke up all the way. And I equated that to what y'all could have possibly be doing. Being a full-time parent is just a different freaking beast. It is harder, it is longer, it is stressful, it is all those, it is not like, and we just got to be honest with ourselves, male or female. When we have them part-time, it does take something out of us. I mean, it did for me. You know, my kids wore me out. They were more excited when they were with me, or they were just being children. And so I'm saying that to say, just imagine what the full-time person is going through. The full-time person, and when I had to, mind you, we got a village, so I got to get the trough together.
Not the trough.
The trough. Like Charlotte's Web, we got to get that together. And cooking, cleaning, somebody hit it, like all of that all the time, Monday through Friday, and not having the weekend off. Then it started to sting. Like it was like, yo, no, you need to be here on the weekends. Like so what did I learn from it? Try to do partial custody. Like I think y'all should try to do it as even as possible, because full-time, just like part-time, it's a difference between full-time employment and part-time employment. You can work hard like a full-timer, but you just not putting in the hours. And that floored me because I thought I was a really like, I'm a full-time parent too. You know what I'm saying? When I get them every weekend. I do all of it. But it's like, nah, Jay, it's just every weekend. And at best, they got to go back on Sundays because you're going back to work. So, it was, I thought it was going to be easy. If I'm going to be real, like part-time, like I've always dealt with children. I'm good. I love them. Nah, it was longer and harder. Man, put me to bed early.
Right? So what I want to say is that when you have a child, either from love or lust, you have. I did have both. Yes, I do. You got. Okay, anyway. Love and lust, you have to take care of that child. That child is your responsibility, even if you don't like the parent you have it with, or I'm sorry, the person you have it with. That's your responsibility. You went into this willingly, love or lust, knowing the consequences. You are responsible for that child financially, emotionally, educationally, health. Either way, you are. There is no shortcut. So if and when that full-time parent puts you on child support, you can feel like I hate you. You don't want me to be happy. Whatever BS excuse you have, but ultimately, guess what you did? As a willing adult, unless you are incompetent, and if you are, I need to see the paperwork, or the mother need, or father need to say paperwork. You are responsible for their child. There is no shortcut. You know what I mean? And I think I get even more irritated when these kids make it into superstars or entertainers, and then the absent parent want to be like,
that motherfucker stroll up in there like, what's up?
Right. Who? Let me tell you.
Yo, you got to give us a gumption.
Yes. And so you have to be responsible, and it's not up for that child to forgive you, because guess what? You did that child wrong. Yeah, that child doesn't have to forgive you, and you shouldn't feel slighted at nobody but yourself. Yeah. Because you put yourself in that position not to take care of that child. Yeah.
The last thing I would say is this: is like, don't let the financial stuff, don't let the person that you don't like or what they became interfere with your children, because it does affect them. And I can attest to that. I have 3 other children, and not figuring out how we could connect has made the relationship harder. And so that's what we really got to get to. And I want y'all to understand. So like, it hurts to lose money or to take money or for things to happen. But it's nothing worse than losing like love and the person that looks like you, acts like you, feels like you. That's probably one of the worst things that can happen. And so I hope that you're gonna just be more responsible. Most of us are not. You're gonna get it wrong and all of that good stuff. But this is real life consequences. You might get somebody cool, or you might get somebody not. And so just don't roll the dice with it.
It's not even worth rolling the dice with it. And let me tell you, for my moms and dads, a lot of times those kids that you don't take care of end up looking just like you. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole other issue that full-time parent has to deal with. Mm-hmm. And so you should be very much appreciative, because either they look like you or act like you, or both. You should be very much appreciative that parent didn't take their anger or hatred out on that child that they have for you. Mm-hmm. Being a single parent and on your own is not a joke. Y'all take care of your children.
Take care of your children.
Not for anybody but yourself and your own conscience.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Do right by them.
Right. So we are so happy you guys watched our show today.
I hope y'all got something for this. Because she was trying me, y'all, but I hope y'all got it.
I love this, man. And hope you guys got something from it. And feel free to comment now or afterwards, and we will respond.
Yes, let us know what y'all think, man. The good and the bad, pros and the cons. As always, live life. Love is life. We out, y'all.
Bye.